Welcome back, everybody, to AFL Timeline History. And guys, we are at Madden 25 Season 2. And as I mentioned on the previous show, one of our commissioners would walk away from AFL. Who would that be? The answer is me. I took a step away from AFL. I needed to take some time off. If you remember back in Madden 13, I had a situation with my dad that was very time consuming, very stressful, emotionally, physically, I felt drained. And then Madden 25 rolls around, I'm at a good place. And then I had another personal issue come up, one that I'm not going to talk about on the show as far as details. Some guys in the league probably know about it, but let's just say it was similar, different to my dad's situation, but similar in certain ways. And it made it to where I couldn't focus on Madden whatsoever. So I had to step away. And this is, as we talked about at the end of Madden 13, we brought in Stokes for a reason, because you need 4 commissioners. He's a stabilizing force. He's a mature guy. And this would be his first test, because it went from Ridge leaving to Josh leaving. And early on in AFL, at least in 11 and early parts of 12, a lot of people thought of AFL as the Ridge-Josh league. And now we were both gone. And Ridge was gone forever. And I was gone for, up in the air. I didn't say, like, hey, I'm going to take a season off. I was like, guys, I got to step away. And there was no timetable on coming back. Stokes, do you remember anything about this? Like, thinking, like, what have I gotten myself into? Or Magic, do you remember anything about this? Or is it just too long ago?
I don't recall feeling any sort of apprehension or any sense of nervousness, because I felt that we would be able to. We understood that you had a situation going on, and that we would be able to push through or carry on whatever the word is. And because we had the 3 commissioners, and the league for the most part runs itself, other than when people want to get ticky-tack with stuff and complain and things like that. But for the most part, the league runs itself, and we're able to schedule, and the people that don't schedule, the people that aren't commissioners, hold them accountable. So I think this is a league where the inmates sometimes run the asylum.
Magic, do you remember anything about this particular situation?
I remember not being concerned about the league, because one, we've gone through it before, and 2, I think we had a pretty good system set up. And then I think I remember checking in with you every once in a while, just, hey, how's it going? Coming back.
Your PlayStation still work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, buddy.
So
around these parts.
I think a sign that I knew I just needed some time to kind of get things sorted out was that we didn't fill the bills. Like, you guys just left them on auto, and then it ended up being this year off. So with that being said, we move on to Season 2, Madden 25, and we have a familiar face winning the Super Bowl. It's Nino. He takes home his second ever AFL Super Bowl at this point. If you remember back, he won Madden 13 Season 7 over Ridge in Ridge's last game. Madden 25 Season 2, Nino gets the best of Joker. Now, on the last episode, Madden 25 Season 1, we talked about, for K-Will, the one that got away. K-Will, at least in his defense, did go on eventually to win a Super Bowl, and we will talk about that down the line. Joker has yet to win a Super Bowl in AFL, and this is most definitely the one that got away, because Joker this game was tied at the end of the 4th quarter. I think there was like a minute left. Joker's driving into Nino's territory, and he's on the edge of field goal range, and he just runs a play to try to move the ball a little bit closer and go down, and he fumbles. And this is in the final minute. Nino recovers the fumble, throws a pass into field goal range, kicks the field goal, confetti drops on the Bears, and raindrops fall on the Chargers, and Joker doesn't get his Super Bowl. Stokes, you were on the other end of a Joker Super Bowl loss, and you also know how important it is for this guy to finally get his name on the wall. He's certainly capable of having his name on the wall. When you hear that story, how depressed do you think he was at that moment?
I can't even imagine it, because that's probably if you asked anyone who was the most surprising name that has not won a Super Bowl, Joker would be the first, if not the second, if not the second, but the first name you're going to come up with, and it just encapsulates all that when you go back and see how he's lost some games, and the fact that he's probably going to be favored in any game he plays, but just for whatever reason, it just seems that the odds just aren't in his favor, and it is heartbreaking to think about when you see other people have won so many Super Bowls, and it's crazy, and it speaks volumes for the league itself that we have in one of our best players that has never even won one.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He was actually favored in a bowl over you that you ended up winning. Now, I mean, obviously we didn't have odds at that point, but popular opinion in the chat that day, I remember it, was people thought that you were going to get run over, and then here he's going against Nino, and he has the game in hand, and Nino has since become one of our best players in AFL, if not our best player. Magic, it's pretty hard to believe that Joker's been here since Madden 11, always been in the conversation for one of the best in the league, and for whatever reason, hasn't won one tournament.
You know, it's like when Scott Norwood lined up to kick a field.
Oh my god.
And, I mean, you got the game won, and then somehow the clock hit 0, and the other team has more points than you. You're just left scratching your head going, well, what the hell just happened?
It's Russell Wilson throwing a pass against the Patriots instead of just handing it to Marshawn Lynch.
You know, I mean, just this one play call completely changes history and perception of guys. You know, Joker's always the guy who you know, we look at, because he hasn't won one. He's Peyton Manning. He's Alex Rodriguez. You know, before they won, it's
I'll save you time. He's Jim Kelly.
You know, I actually wasn't gonna go there. I had Jim Kelly ready for another Bills reference.
Oh, good. Can't wait for that one.
But you know, like great, he'll have these great regular seasons. Oh yeah, he'll win a playoff game or two. But when the pressure gets the hottest, he's gonna melt. You know, like he's be that kind of hot take. So it's really shocking that he hasn't won one yet.
We don't want to turn this into a Joker bash session, but truthfully, the bridesmaids, as we've come to call them, and Joker is certainly one of them, if not the most infamous one, is a thing in AFL and is a certain part of Madden history, of AFL Madden history, and Joker might be the face of that. And you know, for what it is, I mean, history is history. It may not always be complimentary, but it's a thing. And Stokes, do you think, as a guy that's won multiple Super Bowls and you've lost heartbreaking Super Bowls, you had the 2-point conversion that didn't get in against Ridge, you had the 2-point conversion that didn't get in against Nino, you had the fourth quarter comeback against MVP that didn't go your way, but you've also won 7 Super Bowls, so you lose the game and you're like, God, that sucks, but it's not like you've been trying to get this done, and then those things happen and you're still sitting there with 0. Do you think, understanding this is a video game, but it's still one we all take pretty seriously, do you think the pressure of the moment weighs on him and some of the other bridesmaids in the playoffs even more so than most?
Absolutely. I think that there's a lot to be said for something like that. You may not think you're putting pressure on yourself, but deep down you have to know that when it's coming down to it, you're thinking in your head, okay, am I just cursed? Why does this stuff keep happening to me? And especially for a guy like Joker who has to come out of so many of those games thinking, man, I should have won that game. There's no reason that this guy should have beaten me. So I think that a lot of the guys who haven't won one do put undue pressure on themselves, and maybe it's not even undue pressure. It's just the fact that they don't want to be the guy that's going to continue to be, well, he's never won a Super Bowl, so ha, look at him. And I think there's absolutely something to be said for the pressures of this game, because it may be a video game, yes, absolutely, but there is absolutely pressure.
So, guys, let's take a look at the rest of the playoff field here before we start talking about Nino, which I'm sure is one of Stokes' favorite topics. AFC East goes to Pepe. Hey, Stokes, you made the playoffs. Welcome to Madden 25. The AFC South goes to Stokes. Wait a minute. Stokes, did you lose a playoff game to Berto?
Wait, what?
I can't have. Maybe I did.
All right, we're gonna get to that. I just happened to look up the AFC. I'm too excited now. I'm gonna go through this quickly. The AFC North goes to Kite. The AFC West goes to Joker, who we just talked about. The NFC East goes to K-Will's Eagles. NFC South goes to Cheesin. NFC North goes to Nino, and the NFC West goes to Magic. What? The NFC West goes to Magic?
Yeah, what a crazy year. Stokes out here losing to Berto, and I'm hanging banners.
Magic putting a banner up in his trophy room. Your 49ers. Magic, you first AFL Madden, you were the Packers, and then you seem to have a love affair with the Lions, and then this year you decided to take arguably the best team in the game. Were you finally at a point where you're like, enough's enough, I need to start winning something around here?
Yeah, I think we made a rule that you couldn't be a repeat team, and I think we made that rule because it was like, guys, I need help getting out of Detroit. I'm just going to keep taking Calvin.
I can't break up with Calvin Johnson. I need you to break up with him for me.
So once that happened, it became a system of, self-awareness of I can figure out offense well enough, at least back then I could have. And what I need to do is find a team with good defense, and so I went to San Francisco, and I was like, all right, I'll just play defense and run the ball. And we just happened to be the best team, I guess.
And then the wild card teams, we have Berto's Chiefs, which we're definitely going to talk about in a second. G-Pac's Raiders, KJ's Saints, and Hadley's Bucks. So Magic, your Cinderella ride as the NFC West champs did come to an end round one as Hadley's Bucks got the win, but
Hadley, we got in.
Maybe down the line you'll get some revenge on Hadley, but Magic makes the playoffs, wins the division. Congratulations for him. It's his second division win in AFL. He also won one in Madden 12, which he...
Whoa, where was I for that?
You were in Detroit.
That day? Oh, I don't remember doing that show.
That was the season 7, where like half the guys stopped showing up.
There you go.
I think Scott played like 10 of his games, made the playoffs as a wild card because he was in your division and then beat you. But you still, you hung the banner. The banner's there, man. But okay, so we talked about Magic. Hey, you made the playoffs. Good job. Didn't quite get over the hump in the playoffs against Hadley. Stokes, what happened here?
Well, I'm gonna guess that someone broke my arms, and I had someone play the game for me, and I was just telling them what plays to call. That's gonna be my guess here, because I can't think I actually played that game, wanted to win, and didn't against Berto. That doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't add up.
I might be undefeated against Berto Stokes.
I feel like you probably are.
Like he's one of the few people I actually trash talk.
It just doesn't make any sense. I can't. I don't know what to say. It just doesn't add up.
What you say?
Well, let's talk about Joker's playoff run to get to the bowl. He does get revenge on G-Pac and gets a victory over G-Pac's Raiders in the divisional round. Then he takes on MJ Kite's Bengals in the conference championship round and makes it to the Super Bowl. And the man of the hour, Nino, his Bears. Nino's Bears get revenge on K-Will's Eagles. Actually, I take that back. Nino had to go the long route to the Super Bowl. Nino was a wild card team, and he beat KJ's Saints in the wild card round. Then went on the road to take on K-Will's Eagles, the team that eliminated Nino from the playoffs the previous year. Nino blew K-Will out this game. Goes on to the conference championship game to take on Stop Cheesin's Panthers. And Nino gets the best of Cheese, which happens some more times in AFL. And then sets up the Nino victory. So Stokes, at this point in time, Nino won the last bowl of Madden 13. And the little story about how Nino got the Bears, because we had some team trades. This was the first Madden, I think, where we had the contest where somebody got my Packers, but this was the first Madden where money was spent, and we should probably bring it up now. When teams first came out, Nino and I were both in the AFC East. He was the Jets, and I was the Bills. Well, Flip had gotten the Bears because, as Magic said, we made the rule you can't be the same team more than once, and Flip apparently figured he could just buy his way out of the rule. That's weird. So he paid a sum of money to Nino, who we know now is not against any kind of money, and they swapped teams. So Nino went to the Bears, and Flip went to the Jets. I tell myself Nino was just running from me, but I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I go with. And then Stokes, when this thing first came out, you were the Saints, and KJ, a new guy, got the Texans, who weren't a real attractive roster at this point. They're not like they are now, where they have some good players. They were kind of like a decent team. I think Matt Shaw maybe even still been the quarterback at this point. And you decided to let KJ get his Saints because you're a nice guy. I don't even think money was exchanged. I think you just decided to be a nice guy and go to the Texans, which could explain some of your early season struggles.
Well, apparently, let's go ahead and chalk it up to that, guys. I missed the playoffs and apparently lost to Birdo, all because I helped out KJ. That is a great narrative. Thank you, Josh.
So we're here, and we are at Super Bowl 19, if this graphic is correct. And Nino gets his second AFL Bowl in 3 seasons. His first year was Madden 13 Season 7, and then we talked about GPAC winning last year. So I think at this point, Stokes, it was obvious that Nino was one of the best guys in the league.
Sure. When you he's won Super Bowls 2 out of the first 3 seasons he's been in it, and he's always right in the thick of it, even when he wasn't in the Super Bowl. Obviously, you knew there was something that was going to be coming with him, and history shows that he's not going anywhere.
And Magic, one thing we always talk about that impresses us with guys is he won one in Madden 13, and now he follows it up by winning it in Madden 25. It's a different level of elite when you can show that you're good in different versions of Madden.
Definitely shows that you at least have some understanding of football concepts and not just AI exploitations that can vary from year to year. And that's the kind of consistency that we're looking for, and thought that we were going to get out of Stokes, but he's over here losing the Birdo.
Well, Nino gets on the board with his second AFL Super Bowl, and Stokes is left scratching his head wondering if Madden 25 is just not going to be his year. He's 0 for 2 so far as trying to get a bowl and keeping his name in the list of guys who've won a bowl in every Madden he's been in AFL. So that's a look at Madden 25 Season 2. On Madden 25 Season 3 on the next show, do we have a big return in the making? Does somebody come back? We'll talk about it next time.